What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here, and welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check update, what's going on in the United States, Washington, D.C., and the next stimulus package, which has been announced at $3.5 trillion. And this will be a very big week for the House of Representatives as they will be putting together the bill, possibly voting on the bill, as next Monday, a week from today, is the voting date for the physical infrastructure bill. And the plan is, and always has been, to have the stimulus package voted on before the physical infrastructure bill. And there will be a lot of progressive Democrats very upset if they don't have the stimulus package passed before the physical infrastructure bill. We're going to have a lot of details coming out this week and in this video about what is going on with this next stimulus package bill, as well as what is going on in our country today. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so. New videos come out here on our channel every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you find these videos helpful, don't forget to hit the like button for us down below, and let's jump right in. Pharmaceutical company Pfizer announced that based on their testing, that their vaccine is safe and effective for kids ages 5 to 11. Check this out. Pfizer today on Monday announced that testing showed that its COVID vaccine was, quote, safe and well tolerated by children ages 5 to 11 and, quote, robust and neutralizing antibody responses were observed. The pharmaceutical company said that, quote, a favorable safety profile had been observed in its trial of vaccine among children under the age of 12 for its trial. The company used a doses of a third of what is administered to people ages 12 and up. Interesting. So the dosage is a third of what is administered to people ages 12 and up. The Pfizer CEO, Albert Bourla, says that over the past 9 months, hundreds of millions of people ages 12 and older from around the world have received our vaccine. We are eager to extend the protection afforded by the vaccine to this younger population, subject to regulatory authorization, especially as we track the spread of the Delta variant and the substantial threat it poses to children. Pfizer's trial included 2,268 participants between the ages of 5 and 11. Scientists are also getting closer to classifying what they call long COVID as an autoimmune disease. Also, some very interesting information on a Fox News poll, a typically Republican news station. On several different polls, majorities favor masks and vaccine mandates. This is coming from Fox News poll as pandemic worries increase. Check these out. I'll take myself out of the corner here so you can see here. According to this new Fox News poll, you can tell me if these are accurate based on what you think. Percentage of people extremely or very concerned about inflation, 82%, prices of inflation. Let me know if this is accurate down below in the comments. The pandemic, 74% of people said yes, they're concerned about, extremely or very concerned about the pandemic, 74% of people. 73% of people are very concerned about Afghanistan. 72% of people are very concerned about unemployment. I find that interesting because, theoretically, you would think that the pandemic would be much more higher than Afghanistan, which theoretically is a country that is not our country, right? We're now pulled out of there. We no longer have. I mean, we theoretically have, or we do have, a few American citizens left over there. But all of our troops are withdrawn, and 99 point something percent of people have withdrawn out of there. But the pandemic here is in our entire country. And we also have, we have over 650,000 people that have died from the pandemic. It's affecting our entire country. Unemployment is affected because of that. Inflation and prices are affected because of that. You would think the pandemic itself would be I mean, I guess 74% is high. I mean, you would think it would be even higher than 74%. But inflation and prices is actually the number one percentage there, 82%. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. Okay, the next Fox News poll believe that wearing face masks helps reduce the spread of the virus. 69% of people said yes, 29% of people, or 28% of people said no. Let me know your thoughts if you think this is accurate. The next one is that 65% of people thought that the vaccine was safe and effective. 29% of people said no. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And vaccine mask and mandates. I think I'm safe to put myself in the corner here. Teachers and students should wear masks. 67% of Fox News viewers said yes. 31% oppose. Again, so there's probably about 2% of people there were unsure. And workers and customers should wear masks. 66% were in favor, and 31% opposed. So still about 2/3 of Fox News viewers were in favor of wearing masks and vaccine mandates. So vaccine and mask mandates for teachers and students and workers and customers, wearing masks and vaccine mandates. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts. I thought that these were interesting polls, very interesting polls. This one is probably the most interesting one, and that, yeah, all of these things are very, very, the majority of Americans, or at least in this poll, are most very concerned about. Yeah, and inflation and prices being the number one concern. Yeah. And honestly, I would have to say that the pandemic is a big driver of inflation, prices, and unemployment. I mean, so if you took Afghanistan out of this, the pandemic would be the main driver of inflation and unemployment. Because I mean, you could argue that it is. I mean, unemployment is being driven by the pandemic, and inflation and prices right now are being driven by the pandemic and the supply chain shortages that we're having. And I'll tell you, I'm seeing a lot of articles like this from all sorts of different news outlets. Stimulus check update: 5 reasons $2,000 monthly checks are essential. Like I said, I'm seeing a lot of different articles like this almost every single day. Number one, Delta cases have surged. We're averaging around 150,000 people testing positive every single day. As of this week, 1 in every 500 Americans have died from the virus. We went through the numbers the other day, and that is actually true. 1 in every 500 Americans have died from the virus, about 650,000 Americans. So again, another case for more stimulus checks. Number two, 5.3 million fewer people are on the payroll. CBS News recently looked at how the pandemic has impacted jobs just in Texas alone, a state with one of the highest infection rates in the country. Because Texas have been encouraged to go on without masks, fear of contracting the virus has led many to stay home rather than go back to a job where they might be infected. Even those who don't fear for their personal well-being are often caught in the position of needing to stay home to care for family members who might have caught the virus. Number three, 9.1 million people are now without enhanced unemployment. Remember that the unemployment benefit bonuses have now ended. They have lapsed. And now we remember that we do have Representative AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and Cory Bush have actually wrote a bill to add extended unemployment benefits in the $3.5 trillion stimulus package. So they are pushing to have this added into the stimulus package, but it's just a proposal. It's not added into the stimulus package. And it's really a coin toss if it will be added in there or not. We'd have to have leadership like Nancy Pelosi or Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer say that yes, they want to add it into the package. And even then, we could have some moderate Democrats that oppose it. If Joe Manchin says no, well, then you know how that goes. We get one or two moderate Democrats that say they don't want to have it in there, and it could kill the whole deal. Right now, it looks unlikely that unemployment benefits will be extended, but we do have some progressive Democrats that are trying to have it added into the next stimulus package. Number four, the child tax credit is slated to end in December. That's right, and we've talked about this on the show. Those monthly checks for 65 million children, $250 to $300 monthly checks called the child tax credits that total $3,000 to $3,600 per year end at December unless they can pass this next $3.5 trillion stimulus package and include an extension of the child tax credits, which they do want to do, but they have to pass the package. And Senator Joe Manchin is really threatening that well might not happen. Of course, they're pushing forward with that in the House this week and potentially voting on it this week because remember that a week from today they're set to vote on the physical infrastructure package, which I'll get to here in a second. And the plan is to have the stimulus package passed before then. If not, we have some Democrats threatening that they might not pass the infrastructure package. I'll get to that here in a second. And number five, food insecurity is part of 17 million children's lives. Thankfully, they did just pass the 25% SNAP increase, which is a permanent increase, which will kick in on October 1st. Now, remember that the temporary pandemic increase ends in September, but the 25% permanent increase on your normal amount of SNAP increase will kick in October, and that is a permanent increase going forward forever, permanently. And really, adding in a fourth stimulus check would really be beneficial to everybody because it would really help out everybody during this pandemic. And there is enough money in this package, even if they cut the package down to 2 trillion or 2.5 trillion. Remember, the third stimulus check package was only $1.9 trillion, and they had enough room in there for $1,400 stimulus checks for adults, $1,400 stimulus checks for children, and $1,400 stimulus checks for adult dependents and college students who didn't even receive stimulus checks from stimulus check round 1 and 2. They were completely left out. And there was the $3,000 to $3,600 child tax credits. However, remember though that this time around they have this huge Medicare expansion that is going to cost like hundreds of billions of dollars this time around, to include hearing, dental, vision coverage, hearing aid coverage, and denture coverage, as well as lower the Medicare eligibility age to age 60. So that is a significant portion of the bill. Also, expanding the child tax credit is a significant portion of the bill. I think it's over $1 trillion. We don't know the exact amount yet because, well, we haven't seen the bill. It hasn't been released to the public yet, so we don't have an exact number on all this stuff yet. But that's expected to be over $1 trillion. The Medicare portion of the bill is hundreds of billions of dollars, probably over $500 billion. Those two portions of the bill are probably $1.5 trillion alone. So like Senator Joe Manchin, who only wants to spend $1.5 trillion, you see how things get a little bit iffy? We also have Senator Bernie Sanders that says the Senate Democrats are weighing sending a $1,000 voucher for seniors to purchase new Medicare benefits, which would really be, if you're on Medicare already, this would basically be an extra $1,000 for you for Medicare benefits. Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont on Tuesday said that Senate Democrats were considering $1,000 vouchers for seniors to access expanded Medicare benefits that could form a major part of the $3.5 trillion social spending plan they want to pass this month. He said it would serve as a brief stopgap measure while programs are implemented. Quote, in terms of the voucher, what we want to do is make sure that people understand the significance. The Vermont Independent told Insider. So as a bridge, I think we're looking at here is a $1,000 right away, what we're looking at here is $1,000 right away. Use that to go to the dentist if you cannot afford to go. That's very temporary, but maybe a bridge for a year. So again, I think what we're looking at here is $1,000 right away. Maybe use that to go to the dentist if you cannot afford to go. Hey, $1,000 is $1,000, so we'll see. Again, now is when they're really kind of throwing a lot of things to maybe go in the package, and they're really doing the final negotiations. So things are really getting kind of juicy. Even after they write the bill from the second stimulus check package, remember they added the second stimulus check in there after they wrote the bill. So final negotiations go up literally until the last minute. On the third stimulus check package, they added in that $10,200 unemployment tax break. Even after the House passed the bill, the Senate added it in there. And that if you had unemployment last year, that meant that you actually ended up getting tax-free income up to $10,000 of unemployment income tax-free. And that meant the average person got anywhere from $800 to $1,000 of a refund check. Some people actually got over $3,000 back, because I've seen your comments and saying so. For a lot of people, it was anywhere from like $800 to $3,000 back. And that stimulus provision they added in at the very last moment. So these next days are going to be, depending on how quickly they pass it, can be very crucial, because they can literally add in stimulus provisions like $1,000 cash voucher for people on Medicare, an unemployment provision, a stimulus check, a fourth stimulus check. They can add these things in literally up until the very last moment. Yeah. Now, the Congressional Progressive Caucus is preparing to block the infrastructure bill if the reconciliation budget fails. So if they don't pass the stimulus package, then the Progressive Caucus, which is the Bernie Sanders, the AOC, the more left-leaning Democrats, probably or might not pass the physical infrastructure package. The physical infrastructure package is set to be voted on 1 week from today. So if they don't pass the stimulus package in the next week, which is why this is a very critical week, well, we're going to have to see what will happen. Will they vote on the physical infrastructure package if the stimulus package does not pass here in the next week? Or if they don't get around to finishing the package and voting on it here in the next week? Will they vote on the physical infrastructure package? Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting week, because basically the clock is ticking. We're now down to 7 days or less until the final countdown. So, yeah. It's going to be a very interesting week. We also have the debt ceiling to deal with this week, and the government shutdown. The government will shut down in 10 days. September 30th is the deadline. If they don't come to an agreement on September 30th, by October 1st, the government will shut down. Yeah, this is part of the annual budget that they have to do every year. The government shutdown, they have to do that, and then they also have to raise the debt ceiling. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says that the government will run out of money and default sometime in October. Yeah, so they have a lot going on, and they have to deal with it all starting this week. So I will keep you up to date with everything. It's going to be a very big week. Do not miss any episodes at this point. Make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't yet. It's completely free to do so. New videos come out here every day on our channel at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's also a share button down below. You can click to share this video with your friends and family. After subscribing, click the bell icon to get all notifications, to get reminders when we go live with new videos. You can click this video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video is how there's a big movement to add a $1,400 stimulus check into this next stimulus package. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.